All right, we are starting a new chapter this week. We are going to be doing chapter 8, looking at inequalities. So, for our first lesson, we are going to look at writing and graphing inequalities. So, an inequality is a mathematical sentence that compares expressions. It contains the symbols less than, greater than, is less than or equal to, or is greater than or equal to. So you're already familiar with these symbols, you've seen them before. So the key phrases that you're going to look for when figuring out which one you're going to use are here in this chart. So for less than, you're going to look for is less than, is fewer than. For the greater than symbol, you're looking for is greater than, is more than. For less than or equal to, you're going to look for is less than or equal to, is at most, is no more than. And then with is greater than or equal to, you're going to look for is greater than or equal to, is at least, is no more than. So those are the key phrases that will let you know which inequality you are working with and which one to write out when you're writing an inequality from a sentence that might be given. So we are going to look at an example of writing an inequality, and make sure you take your notes and you have, if you have any questions, write them down so you can ask in class, and we'll go ahead and get started. So our first example is looking at writing an inequality. So we have the sentence, a number w minus 3.5 is less than or equal to negative 2. And they want us to write this as an inequality. So we have our sentence, a number w minus 3.5 is less than or equal to negative 2. So we can take this apart and we know what we need to do. So a number w minus 3.5 can be written w minus 3.5. Is less than or equal to, we know what that symbol looks like. So our sentence, our inequality is going to be w minus 3.5 is less than or equal to negative 2. And that's how you write an inequality when they give you a sentence. All right, and then some other vocabulary words for you to keep in mind with inequalities are going to be solution of an inequality, and this is the value that makes the inequality true, and an inequality can have more than one solution. So a solution set is the set of all solutions of an inequality. So we have this chart here. Value of x, it has our inequality, x plus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 2, and then whether or not this is true, a true inequality. So our first value for x is negative 6, and so that negative 6 just gets plugged in for the x in this inequality. So negative 6 plus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Negative 1 is greater than or equal to negative 2. This is true, so our inequality is true. If we use negative 7 for our value of x, we plug that negative 7 in for x in our inequality. Negative 7 plus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2. Negative 2 is greater than or equal to negative 2. And so that is a true inequality. Our third value of x is negative 8. And when we plug in negative 8 into our x for in the inequality, it's negative 8 plus 5. is greater than or equal to -2. -8 plus 5 is -3. -3 is not greater than or equal to -2, and so this inequality is not true. So -8 is not a solution to this inequality, but -6 and -7 are. So our next example is just checking solutions, and it wants us to tell whether -4 is a solution of the inequality, and they've given us two inequalities to check this for. So our first one is x plus 8 is less than -3. So we plug that -4 in for x. -4 plus 8 is less than -3. -4 plus 8 is 4. -4 is not less than -3, so -4 is not a solution of the inequality. Our next inequality that we're looking at is -4.5 times x is greater than -21. So we plug in that -4 again for x. -4.5 times -4 is greater than -21. -4.5 times -4 is 18. 18 is greater than -21. That is true. And so -4 is a solution of the inequality. And some final vocabulary words, or some final vocabulary to look at, is graphing of an inequality. And this shows all of the solutions of the inequality on a number line. So some symbols that you're going to see with a graph of an inequality are going to be an open circle. This is used when a number is not a solution. A closed circle is used when a number is a solution. And then arrows pointing to the left and right shows the shows that the graph continues in that direction, either left or right. So those are symbols that you're going to see when you're graphing inequalities. And so we're going to look at graphing an inequality example. And so we have here graphing an inequality, and they want us to graph y is less than or equal to -3. So y being less than or equal to -3, and we know that -3 would be a solution to this inequality. And so we do a closed circle at -3. And then to figure out which direction you're going to go in, you look at the numbers on either side of that -3. If -2 is not less than or greater or equal to -3, so we know it's not going to go to the right. -4 is less than or equal to -3, so we know that our graph for this inequality is going to be the closed circle at -3, and then our arrow is going to go off to the left. And that is how you graph an inequality. So those are the major points that 8.1 is going to be looking at for today. So you can go ahead and start working on the on your own questions. And if you have any questions, get those written down so that you can ask in class tomorrow. And we will go over the on your own questions in class. And then you will be able to get started on your assignment while we're together in class, and you can ask any questions that you may have. So I will see you tomorrow in class.